you believe? Yakona. Do you believe? Yakona. Do you believe? Yakona.
My name is Helen Herimbi. Welcome to Imbali Live. As some of you might know, Imbali was basically a podcast I started in order to give key players in the South African music industry their flowers while they can still smell them. And then it became this dope-ass live event that the Hive is supporting us on. And today's guest is somebody very special. And I can tell because the room hasn't been this full ever. So please come back next month as well. It won't be this guy again, but come back anyway. So he is the kind of OG that doesn't need an introduction, but I'm going to give him one anyway. He is a founding member of one of the most pioneering, prolific hip-hop groups of all time. He is a solo act who has never been shy to bring other, especially younger acts into his orbit. And he is a branding and marketing maverick. He is Sia Slikour Metane. Please put your hands together for Slikour. Welcome, Slikour.
Yeah.
Or have you forgotten how to use these things? Huh? Your rap days are behind you.
Oh, yeah. What's up, guys? How you guys doing? Cool. Thanks for coming out.
So
Thanks for inviting me.
You're so welcome.
Yeah.
You're very welcome. So we're going to start with the section that I think a lot of people might not know about, right? So a lot of people know you as one of the original beasts from the East.
Yeah.
You know, but where exactly in the East Rand did you grow up, and what kind of kid were you?
I grew up in Katlehong. I had to for a little bit. My teenage years were in Leondale. And I was very into my own ideas.
I was about to say talkative.
Into my own ideas. I don't know if I'm talkative. I think I'm trying to really make people believe in my ideas. And I still am doing that, you know?
Yeah.
So it makes me talk a lot. But, you know, I've learned how to not come in and be too deep. You need to, you know, massage the conversation.
Yeah.
I've been doing that all my life. I've been massaging it. I talked rap into the game, you know?
So where are you? How old are you? What is happening when you discover hip-hop?
Damn, there's a guy called MC Hammer, right?
Do you guys know MC Hammer?
It's
a young crowd in here.
Yeah, he retweeted Casper, and I don't think people knew. And then a guy from Builder's Warehouse just retweeted Casper. There's a guy called MC Hammer who basically was just this thing, you know. He was just doing this thing, dancing and rapping, and I'd never seen anything like it. And I just wanted to it talked to me. It talked to me.
Yeah. And you know, when Thabiso was here the last time, he said he started out as a breakdancer.
Yeah.
Did you start out rapping, or were you exploring some of the other elements of hip-hop?
No, me, I ain't try to dance a damn thing. You know, I'm stiff. I was told off the bat, no, you know. Who I really liked was Michael Jackson, you know. So with Michael Jackson, he was always dancing. So I already knew I couldn't dance early because I tried to do the moonwalk.
It just didn't work
There's
out.
always someone that could do something better than me. It wasn't my place. So when the rap came, just visually what I saw in these black men, it was something I've never seen before in my life. And it had rhythm, it had words, and it was expressive, and it dressed like cool. It was like something I've never seen in my life. It was like, yo, what is that black thing? I think I've got it. Just the black though, you know?
So one of the things I find really interesting about Slikour, and I've never actually heard you tell this story, so I don't know how true it is, but it's the idea that you were heavy into the battle rap scene, right?
Yeah.
And you had an encounter with Snazz the Dictator.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
I mean, we're always in the streets. The thing is that like Joburg and just Joburg is literally clicky. There was the J6. So we were the kids from the East End, the Kurulane. And we were not working according to the benchmarks of the guys in Joburg. I never knew you could write rhymes. I thought that everything was off the head, Catch me on a good day,
Is today a good day?
Nah.
Can we get
I need to have someone else like youngster sitting on the other side.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay,
And
sorry, I'm not youngster.
Yeah, and then we sharpen each other. You know what I mean? But so I never knew that people write. So I always just went off the head till someone literally showed me. It was like Infa's cousin or Boz's cousin, and he was like, "Yo, and this guy but was writing so long, but his raps weren't. Alright, I see you can write, but." So I learned though to write from a guy who I thought couldn't rap well though. You know what I mean? Shout out to Broken T. And just like everything, everyone that showed me something, I did it better than them, And
That's a flex.
No, I mean even like even Tabiso, he knows, everyone that actually either constructively criticized me, or told me something that made me look in. I always look in till this day, So, I mean, I just freestyled and it was my thing. And we were in Joburg. There's a club called Trends. I don't know. Maybe this was the club because this was in Braamfontein somewhere. Maybe this was it because it still smells like it, But the thing is that, like, we're in a club called Trends. This guy, Amo, I knew Amo was like this icon. I used to listen to tapes of Amo, And if you come to the Amo Nation, it was like, yo, this Amo was like this guy. He was Drake, Yeah, Shangan. So, Amo literally like, he called me up on stage. I'm not knowing, I'm getting in a Joburg beef that I don't know nothing about. You know what I mean? But Amo literally calls me up on stage like, yo, these kids, blah, blah, they dope. And Snazz is, Snazz is like, who the fuck are we, So he comes in with y'all, Snazz the he starts rapping, he starts doing his shit. And I don't know what I said, but Amo, Tabi, so they always remind me of this line, and it's like a whack line in my head, And they like, yo, Slick, you are like, so I am the sperm, and you are the egg, or something like the egg, the sperm, or he's the sperm, and I'm the egg, or something about being fertile. And they were like, yo, when you said that, you just killed him. I'm like, that shit sounds stupid, though. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That shit sounds stupid and cheesy. But what it did, though, I think Skwatta Kamp people started speaking about Skwatta Kamp. So, we kept on saying Skwatta Kamp. There was no Slick, there was no Smacks, people started finding out who we are. So the name was always Skwatta Kamp. So by the time that we even started making music, the name was always Skwatta Kamp. We were always marketing it. It's like, what they say with marketing, it's like if you keep on pushing the same message, literally people start going. So we were never individuals. It was always Skwatta Kamp. So firstly, there's 2-3 of us, there's 11 of us, but we always Skwatta Kamp. That's always what it was. You know what I mean? We really only started being called individuals when we went through the mainstream, like, oh, okay, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So from what I understand, Skwatta Kamp wasn't always 7 guys.
Yeah, yeah.
So
it was 11.
So break down to us like how the actual formation of Skwatta Kamp happened.
Damn, we were. It was by default, and I need to find this default name. This default word means that you're not sitting there saying we are a group. It was organic. It was like life happened. Me and Smacks were friends. Smacks, me and me being friends, we kind of like built a little studio. I had already started like building the studio. I sold Smacks the studio dream, because he was an actor. So I was like, yo, the studio dream. And Smacks literally bought the dream and owned it, I don't sell it unless I think that you can own it, unless you got the potential to own it, And we got, like, I'm saying, like, everyone in the neighborhood literally came to my house to record, right? Like, literally, my mother would, and you shout out to my mother, my mother would literally allow every Tom, Dick, and Harry, I'm saying every Tom, Dick, and Harry, to come in her house, walk past the kitchen, get in the studio. I'm saying not rappers, guys who drink guaido, guys who are smelling of weed, guys who, like, my mother literally used to, and I think she was also compensating because she couldn't afford to take me to school, right, to tertiary. So she was like, at least this is what I do, so she didn't want to be in my way. So with that being said, even the Skwatta Kamp guys, we started choosing who should be in the group. With that, through friendships. So that's why Boza came with 4 people. We're trying to put Boza in his, no marang scheme. Okay, they're part of it. We're trying to put Sip in his from Alex. No marang repa no nanat. Okay, mle tonight. Your niche is from Leondel. Marang repa nenyo Flabba like a scale. Okay, mle tonight. Infa literally was always around with me. He was more my friend. And like, Infa was always like coming to my crib. I spent more time with Infa. He started really producing at my house, doing a lot of things like that. So it was really like a bunch of friends and everybody was pulling in a friend. And then Mischief came through and he was like, Mischief was always like the guy who felt like an outsider. So we said, okay, no, Zwagala now, So we went from 11 to 12 people in the group and Mischief was in and out because, it was a confusing in rap that time, like 1 minute you accepted in this space, when the house guys or the quiet guys, whatever, accept you, it feels like it feels good because we don't even have our own community. So yeah. Mischief was going through both of those worlds, but he was always trying to find that, but can I still find some grounding here? Because he was with another group. I mean, and one of the other guys, what was it? I remember there was Sotemba and Justice. One of them passed away, I forgot what they called them as a group. But they were all like Zim cats, and they thought that Mischief was whack now because he's mainstream, so they kind of kicked him out. And we were like open, we're like, nah, Zwagala Mischief, Zwagal, ungawari,
yeah. And he became the 12th member.
He became the 12th member.
And then eventually there was 7.
Yeah.
So before we get into the stuff that Skwatta Kamp did, how did you become Phantom Slikour?
There's a guy called Peter Lynch who's still in my circle, I used to do like S-curls and I mean, I know, listen, S-curl was the thing. That's how old I am, I just survived the perm generation. You know what I mean? Herman Mashaba. I just escaped Herman Mashaba. You know what I mean? With black like me. But I literally had these S-skills. But I couldn't afford to go to a salon, right? My mother, when we were going to a salon, 5 rand, 8 rand, whatever the case be, So there was this thing called it was like a thing, I think they called it, it was a white thing that you could put in your hair. And you could comb your hair, whatever it is, you could comb your hair till your hair literally curls. You know what I mean? So I would comb my hair and they were like, no, man, So I used to do the sides for too long and bezlala, on some, shoe, straight hair. And then I'd comb the bit here on the top and then the curls would be here. So when I'd be playing basketball, Peter literally would always, Peter used to be a rapper who tried to be a lawyer and who went back to being it's kind of confusing. So Peter would literally always come to the basketball court and be like, you slick, and I was like, damn, okay, slick. And then I just put in Phantom because, I just Keith Murray. There's something about Keith Murray. I just needed a rap name. Phantom was just the rap name. Then I dropped Phantom because I was Phantom Slick. I dropped the Phantom because I felt the Phantom was made up. But I feel that all my success has always been triggered by people who saw something in me. And Slick was something that was started in Leondale, and everybody in Leondale started calling me Slick. So I was like, if anyone had to tell me where this name comes from, it's a community that gave me the name. So when you see the Slick on live, when you see the site, the business, it's a community that gave the name, you know? And I wanted to carry that versus me making it up like Phantom. Phantom, I made it up. You know what I mean? I was letting the universe work and I kept it like that.
That's dope. So as the 7-man group, right, you guys put out this tape, or you created a tape, right? And then someone said, why don't you guys have a CD instead? So was this Skwatta campaign? You remember?
Yeah, it was probably it was Skwatta campaign because the next thing was Cut and Join.
Yeah.
And Tabi Sokhati was like, yeah, I need you. Now, Tabi Sokhati, you know, I just impressed this guy. Now, he's like Ammunition's manager, right? So he's like, yo, he's like one of the guys who's in the in circle in Joburg. So, he's like, okay. When he picks up my phone, it's like I'm speaking to Puff, right? So Tabi Sokhati literally like is on some. And you see, they're my OGs, right? You know, I gotta keep it real. They're my OGs, you know. So even though now they like, I'm Abuchi string. I know he's here. I'm just taking shots. I'm just taking shots.
Can we not call people G-strings?
I know he's here.
I'm
just taking shots. I'm just taking shots. But he's my OG, and like, you know, so Tabiso, I play him this tape, you know, and Tabiso basically like he can show you this. Like, yo, okay, admiration, and at the same time, reverse and tell you something he doesn't like, and you're like, yo, are you like the same guy, you know? So I'm playing him this tape, and he's like, yeah, I hear he's like, man, but there's the hiss, you know, the quality is, you know, he basically says that it sounds shit, you know? Now, remember, I literally caught a taxi from Leondale to Joburg to Norwood to go meet up with him, for him to tell me that my tape is shit. I've got the energy of, I want to just play this guy. Remember, back in the day, rejection was a couple of taxis. Today, KO can just retweet and say, your shit is whack, tell you more shit. You know what I mean? Back in the day, you had to get a couple of taxis to get a KO response. You know what I mean? They knock you the fuck out. So, excuse that. And so Tabiso literally told me that, and I was like, fuck it. I went back. I took it like everything. I take everything personal. But one thing I've learned, even in my personal relationships, is that where's the problem with me? You know, I find reasons to say sorry, you know, versus me being defensive. So I find the reasons to say sorry because I try looking me. I don't just say sorry if I don't understand. But if I try to see that, okay, I know I got no filter. I know I make mistakes. I know I say a lot of shit also that I don't remember. So Tabiso literally told me that shit, and I went back home and I was like, how do I fix me? How do I fix this? So the movement of moving to a CD was me going back to the group saying, okay, we got a studio. Now remember, we built a studio. Tabiso doesn't even have the studio, right? But he's still critting. You know, so what the mind normally says, it goes, that nigga's a hater. But I knew that, okay, maybe he doesn't know the work I've put in. But that's the problem. A lot of people literally live their lives based on, but I've put in so much work. If you're the only one that knows you put in the work, someone else that receives the end product.
So it's like an entitlement thing. Like people are entitled, like just because I worked, I have to get it.
You know what I mean? But like, I knew that this guy like kind of gave me props. You know, there's a little bit, he's got a soft spot for me somewhere, but maybe he is telling me a truth, you know? So I worked on it, and that literally became the Cut and Join mixtape, which had Rao Manyisa album, which had Rao Manyisa, and was us discovering that vernacular rap and us breaking and and Tabiso then aspiring to work with us one day at Gallo.
Came full circle.
Full circle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So Skwatta Campaign, then Cut and Join comes out 2002. 2003, you guys sign with Gallo. At the time, like, can you remember what the musical landscape was like? Because you guys come from battling people in clubs. You come from East Rand. Like, it's a different kind of world to be signed to a major. So what was it like during those times?
I mean, I'm always the wrong guy to ask that question. Because for me, I never see what's happening. I'm always in what is in your head. So, and this was the thing with Skwatta Kamp, that like I would say things like, and I need to, because you know Kanye West, like sometimes he's unstable and I got my issues, but I say Kanye West said something that really resonates in my life. I sometimes speak like it's just me and you. You know what I mean? So the rest of the guys saw everything that was happening. I was still trying to make the song what it can be. I was still believing that, more artists need to come in. I was still believing that it can't be just one rap group that is important. You know what I mean? So I was feeling like there's something incomplete. So one thing for sure, there was no rap. You know what I mean? And we were like, the rappers it was really like spaced out. There was no rap. H2O came in later on, and Outrageous came in later on, where they were almost like playing the game that we were playing with a group like H2O, although they had everything else with regards to rap, right? Then Pitch Black Afro came through. Then, you had your Pro Kid, but there was nothing happening, per se, that there's a rap industry or rap community. So we were still working with people who were like, let's try it, So
You were the like guinea pigs.
we were the guinea pigs, and that's and like its history keeps repeating itself that way in different spaces in my life. So there's no industry, but I don't remember a lot because the best guy who's got the best mind, Smacks goes, yeah, that's so and so. Like, don't you remember? And I was like, because I was so consumed, and like a part of that is that, like, let's say Boza, like Upoza, like would be the nigga Osbonayo, right? So Boza was like the typical hood nigga where in the kumbi we sitting, and like people like Boza, and Boza sitting there with her, and all of us in the kumbi like, nigga, what the fuck? You know what I mean? I'm the guy that in interviews are like, I sleek.
Just pause, yeah.
Or like they're like, hey, Shanganil Khalil, you know what I mean? Flabba literally like just sits quietly and eats his full chicken, and he has his full chicken in the car. He's sitting there in the back, and then he goes, and then the full chicken kills him, and he can't finish it, and he goes, okay, my chen, so we're like, nah, nigga, you can't finish that shit. And Nish is like the instigator, always sitting in the corner. Infa and I think Infa and I were friends. I just don't know what happened. But like, I'm Infa's godfather's.
Infa's kid's godparent.
You know what it means,
I get you. I got you.
Maybe this is why we're not cool. You know what I mean? I can't say it right. But till this day, I don't know. He's a guy that I don't know. But he turned on all of us. You know what I mean? And I still don't know why. But for me personally, also, I'm like, yo, it's almost like that painful thing that you don't think of. So even though we talk tough, but like it is. And who else? Smacks was like my partner. He was my yin and yang. I saw the vision. Smacks literally make it come to life. And yeah, and Boza was the DJ. Out just the guys, Majaivan, Schema. Boza was our PR in the mass market. We got Diploma, Nabo Robi, Nabo Spoo, and all those guys. He was like our PR. He was like when everybody goes, yeah, this Skwatta Kamp is grand. It was because Boza would literally sit with the Kwaito guys like he's one of them. You know what I mean? So that was really the dynamic in the group.
Yeah. So then 4 years ago, we wake up to this news that Flabba has passed away. So where are you when you hear this news and what goes through your mind?
I was so they must have been with Smacks the night before, you know. Obahlale bathanda izinto, you know. I was at home. I got the call like at 4 o'clock in the morning. It was 4 4 in the morning from his brother. And the whole house woke up because I cried like a baby. I cried like a baby, and my kids are still small, so they don't know what it is and what it means. So they still like teasing me about it. You know, like remember when Baba was crying. You know what I mean? But like I woke up, it was a rude awakening. You know, I cried in the kitchen. I sat down. I just never understood it. You know what I mean? And yeah, I never understood it. You know, I still don't understand it. And you know, I'm seeing what people are saying with Nipsey, obviously, and they're like, you know, obviously guys from the States, not everyone else who's
And DJ Spoo?
yeah. But he was reporting, please. He's an ambassador. Let's leave him.
He's representing
Yes,
us.
yes, he
Okay,
is. Please.
yeah.
Yeah. Delegated by the UN, the homie. You know, no, shout out to Spoo. He actually also called me like last week just to say, yo, I'm on the ground. If you want me to get you anything, let me know. So, you know, he's doing the thing, he's connecting the dots, you know. So what happened though is that you know, I saw like this other guy from the States said, I can't even put RIP in front of your name. It was that's what I was going through. I was like, is this our dude? Is this what we've been seeing with all the other artists? Is this our dude? It was just hard, you know, and still it's hard to connect. But now you kind of accept, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. So obviously Skwatta Kamp won gang of awards. You are pioneers. Everybody loves Skwatta Kamp. But this is a slicker day. So we're going to talk about Bada Bing. We're going to talk about Kwesta. We're going to talk about all of that, right? That's still coming, so don't ask questions about that yet. Is there anyone who's got a question about anything we discussed? There's a mic that's going to come to Tsediso, and then we'll come to you afterwards.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Ciao. So, one thing that, like, your relationship with Infa, and it's something that I've really, like, started to realize with a lot of older heads, you know what I mean? And it's like there are all these uneasy conversations that are not being had. And I'm just wondering, like, whether you guys have considered, like, as a group, like something like therapy or something, because y'all are, you know, growing old now. But I'm not really keen on you dying before 40 and dying with all this shit in your heart. You know what I mean? Because I think that's a very important ground that you guys laid. So, like, I just want to know, just generally, like, our older heads thinking about, I don't know, man, like resolving the shit, not just letting it hang.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know what that's a question or a statement or, but whatever it is,
The
it's good.
question is, have you guys considered therapy or something else that will fix things between
Well,
you guys?
I mean, you know, Skwatta Kamp has invited like Schaba, you know, to have a conversation, and and um, and you know, he came through and we had the chat, and he was very dismissive and judgmental to all of us, you know. We said let's put our egos aside because we were not formed by Coca-Cola or by idols. We were not the pop stars. We were guys who had the same vision and the same dream, you know. It's like Schaba's late father would talk to me about like things that he felt about Schaba. I knew Schaba's little brother and all the issues they had. Schaba came to my mother's house. My mother would see Schaba going to school and feel bad that she can't afford to take me to school. You know what I mean? These are how tight the relationships are. You know what I mean? They definitely not like relationships, industry relationships. But I think I don't know what he's gone through, what he went through. But all of us, and I always go, when you hit the age of 28, 29, 30, you get this awakening in life. Or when you get like a child, you get this awakening and this consciousness, and like energy starts becoming a very important thing, and you start choosing what energy you want to be around. And I think that's what he was trying to communicate with us. But with him trying to say that, I think he was very judgmental of us, and I think he was also neglecting the fact that we've also kind of grown and we have a certain energy, and we don't have to come together as Skwatta Kamp to rap. We don't have to come together and say, yo, why don't we just do something for the fuck of it? We don't. But we're saying we the only guys we know who have been friends with each other ever since we were young, small teenagers in our early, as kids. And what's life about? Life is about getting old and still having fun with the people you're having fun with when you're young. Because most people can't say their friends are alive when they were young. Most people can't say they're around their friends just generally because of whatever happened, whether it's career, whether it's life, whether it's death, whether it's sickness, whatever. But here we are, the only guy that left us is Flabba. Here we are. We have a chance to still have fun and work together and be in studios. And if we get booked for shows, go perform. We still have that opportunity. We ain't trying to be like, Skwatta Kamp's got a big comeback, or we rappers now. We trying to say, but we really love making music and just hanging with each other and just talking shit. So I think it's that fundamental where I don't know, maybe Schaba like literally never felt he was part of that energy, because in Skwatta Kamp I was never a part of it. I never agreed with anybody in Skwatta Kamp, not one person. Me and Smacks would get along when we together, but once he's sitting with everybody else, I was always the outsider. You know what I mean? And Schaba would at least go, yo, Flabba here and whatever, but he says Flabba knew what he was going through, but Flabba would be with us, and he'd be like, "What the fuck is going on with Schaba?" You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think that I think it's deeper than rap. It's deeper than Skwatta Kamp. I think something deeper that we don't even know. That I think he really needs to go to the therapy, because we're not his enemies. We're his brothers. Like if we get a call today, just close it. If we get a call today that something happened with Schaba, I can bet you everybody will be at Schaba's house today, in the group.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have a not deep question?
Yeah, I have a deep question. Sure, Slikour. So, as a group, right? How do you guys now go from we just doing music for fun, and then now you guys start making money, and you guys have to split it? How did you guys now change and become businessmen instead of just artists and like creatives?
I'll answer that question in a simple sentence. It's like you literally like an intern. You get a full-time job, you get a salary, you decide whether you're gonna be an employee or start your own thing. It's the same mentality. Whatever guys do with their money when they're successful, whether it's through creative, it's the same as, creative is just a job you do and you love. An accountant must love counting. It's just straight up. A nigga that's doing architecture or construction must love it. It's the same thing as a guy who loves being a creative. And you can love it and be a worker, or love it and be a boss. It's just up to you. So it's really the same thing. There's no difference to it as anything else.
Dope. So I'm going to take one more question in this section, because we do need to move on. What's your question?
In this whole thing, you talked about like the seven guys, never talked about Relo. So how does Relo fit into Skwatta Kamp? Was she a part? Was she a part of it, or was she just a feature all the time?
I mean, it was featuring Relo, you know what I mean? That's how it was. She was just always like there at the studio. She had her own car. She she had a Taz. She was independent. No one was giving her lifts. this is one of the Skwatta Kamp guys who answered this. No one is giving her lips to come to the studio. She really wanted to make her own music, and the fact that like she just jumped on a song like Umoya, like I said, everyone like the name of the song was actually Umona, you know, and that's when we were like starting to feel the hate in the game because we get everyone in the game thinks they hate them when they get successful, you know. And I knew that I don't want to be that guy because one day, and this is how we changed Umoya from Umoya, well, Umona to Umoya. I said to Sil, man, ain't nobody hating nothing. We ain't even that big. Just do Umoya, you know. That's what's gonna work. And then Relo would be there to go, Umoya. And we're like, oh, okay. And she'd be here, she'd be there. So she'd appear all the time. And she was independent. She literally bossed herself into being part of the group. And we welcomed it in. It was that initiative. And now when Flabba passed, and we're like, yo, man, fuck this featuring Relo. Now you're part of the group, you know. That's the story behind Relo, you know.